Welcome back to Ray's Top 10. The best games of 2020 are shaping up to be quite the definitive year. We've had some absolutely cracking entries added to our list, despite release date delays. 2020 is a hugely important year for gaming. Not only are we going to see games take full advantage of everything PS4 and Xbox One have to offer in their twilight years, but we're also getting the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Here are the top 10 best games of 2020 so far. Number 10 is Dreams. While creation is at the core of Dreams, you don't have to indulge to enjoy what it has to offer. There are literally thousands of community-made games to enjoy, from quick party games to full-on adventures and shooters. And, obviously, a bunch of hella weirdness in between. Developer Media Molecule Afton describes it as a YouTube of games, and that's an accurate description. You can browse endlessly for content, and it's easy to spend an evening playing your way through games and following creators. If all that does eventually spark your more artistic side, then you'll find Dreams' creative game dev tools are surprisingly accessible. Even if you think you can't make anything, there's a wealth of pre-made things like enemies, levels and other bits and bobs you can use to make your own stuff. Number 9. Nioh 2. Cut down, impaled, burned, electrocuted, beaten, run over, squeezed, bitten, frozen and scratched to death. Just some of the ways I've met my end, playing Nioh 2, in the game's own words, as every time I die it takes a little sadistic joy in telling me what killed me and how. But I dust myself off and try again, because each hard-fought victory and inch of progress is breathlessly rewarding. Nioh 2 very much doubles down on the vision of the first game. It tells another story of feudal Japanese warlords, samurai and demons. It again sticks close to From's Dark Souls structure, with added loot and frenetic combat that recalls Team Ninja's own classic Ninja Gaiden series. And it's still huge, with long, meandering main missions bolstered by optional sub-missions that often reuse parts of the same maps. Number 8 is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Something very important happened between the 2014 release of Ori and the Blind Forest and the 2020 release of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and that thing is Hollow Knight. Clearly, when Hollow Knight schooled everyone on Metroidvanias in 2017, Ori was in the front row with a heavily weathered notebook. Ori and the Will of the Wisps grafts the best parts of modern Metroidvanias like Hollow Knight onto the compelling core established in the first game, resulting in a short but sublime action platformer that will constantly delight your eyes, ears, and fingertips. Ori's arsenal of abilities has been greatly expanded in Will of the Wisps. You've got your jump, double jump, and triple jump. You can scale vines, cling to walls, and climb on certain surfaces like Spider-Man. Ori can launch off enemies, projectiles, and hanging lanterns, and even grapple to enemies or designated anchors. You can glide through the air and ride vents upward, dash through the air and along the ground, and dive in and out of water with wonderful flourish. Ori's aerial maneuverability is extraordinary, and it only gets better with the introduction of later abilities, which I won't spoil. Number 7. Valorant. Counter-Strike may have dominated the reflexive shooter esport market for years, but there's finally a new contender. Valorant is the new title from Riot Games, previously known for League of Legends and Teamfight Tactics, and it combines the pinpoint precision required from a game like CS, with hero abilities like you'd find in Overwatch. On paper, it sounds like carnage. In reality, Valorant is in the running for Shooter of the Year. With just 4 maps and 11 agents in rotation so far, Riot is providing consistent updates and balancing tweaks to ensure the Valorant experience is as competitive as it can be. Numerous esports organizations have started investing in the game, so whether you're a newbie to this genre and want to practice in unranked or you're a Radiant tier ranked player who hasn't had their big break, Valorant could be the game for you. Number 6 is Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is at its best when it is screaming at you to move faster. As it thrusts the tools to single-handedly eviscerate the rampaging spawn of hell into your clenched, blood-drenched fists, an array of finely tuned weapons designed to deliver mass demon destruction. When you're up to your ankles in viscera, blasting chunks of flesh from foe while the hum of the chainsaw warms your trigger fingers. as it sets its hyperkinetic action to a cacophonic soundscape of blood, bullets, and heavy freaking metal. Doom Eternal screams at you to move faster and to fight harder, and you can do nothing but obey. Not because you have become subservient to the altar of id Software, but because the cadence of Doom's combat has demanded nothing less of you for more than 3 decades. Number 5 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake successfully managed to bring the world of the 1997 classic into the modern era with meticulous details and its own distinctive feel. Set entirely in Midgar, you get to spend more time with the setting and the main characters, which adds so much depth and richness to the overall experience. Faced with the challenge of delivering something that would appeal to newcomers and longtime fans is no easy feat, but Final Fantasy VII Remake is proof that it can be done, and you can really sense the amount of care and love that went into recreating this much-loved game for new audiences to enjoy. With a reworked combat system, gorgeous graphics, and lots of new discoveries just waiting to be uncovered, reuniting with Cloud and the gang is an absolute treat. Number 4. Half-Life Alyx. When getting VR hair is the only con when reviewing a game, you know it's good. Half-Life Alyx is the best virtual reality experience money can buy right now, and it feels like a tantalizing glimpse of what big game studios could achieve if they were more willing to invest in AAA VR experiences. Of course, more than anything, this is a love letter to the iconic Half-Life series, complete with the sense of real danger, and the vague sense of being trapped in a dream. Half-Life Alyx is a technological marvel, but more importantly, it's the best game you can play in VR right now. A shooter that makes you feel smart, coupled with a truly immersive experience that will impress Half-Life hardliners and newcomers alike. Number 3. Ghost of Tsushima. You are not prepared for Ghost of Tsushima. Your eyeballs aren't ready, your life isn't ready, your soul isn't ready. No matter how much of a Sucker Punch fan you are, no amount of playing the infamous series could have prepared you for this epic game. It's Assassin's Creed Japan with a Red Dead Redemption 2-sized world and an entire library's worth of Akira Kurosawa movies melted and shot directly into its veins. After days and days spent wandering forests, decapitating warlords, and stopping every now and again for a little toot of my flute, I still wanted more when the breathtaking finale signaled the end of Jin Sakai's story. The real star of Ghost of Tsushima isn't its hero Jin Sakai, it's the island that unfurls around you. Sucker Punch has delivered on its promise of using the natural world as a guide, with the wind's direction leading you to waypoints, golden birds showing the way to hidden secrets like bamboo strikes and hot springs, and foxes shepherding you to Inari shrines. With fields of pampas grass, bamboo forests, lakes, and mountains, it's like running through a painting, and with a few exceptions, everything is so colorful, so vivid, that running between quests is like a pharmaceutical-strength ASMR video. You can fast travel, but you'll find you don't want to. Number 2, is The Last of Us 2. With the dust settled, it's fair to say that The Last of Us 2 underwent one of the most turbulent releases in PlayStation history, with delays, devastating plot leaks, and some truly virulent online discourse surrounding its launch. Play it for yourself, however, and you'll discover another Naughty Dog classic, one that easily sits among the best PS4 games of all time. Is it faultless? Of course not, but the strides that The Last of Us Part 2 makes in the realms of animation, storytelling, and level design are nothing short of revelatory, and go far and beyond the shortcomings of its infrequently overbearing plot. The Last of Us Part 2's story is one of great scale and intricate nuance, and the same can be said for its world. Naughty Dog has stretched the parameters of its linear game design to create environments that always feel like part of something larger than you are, yet are still crammed to the gills with the kind of handmade detail typically only reserved for more compactly structured single-player experiences. And the number 1 best game of 2020 so far is Animal Crossing: New Horizons. There's no denying that Animal Crossing New Horizons arrived at exactly the right time. Offering us a sense of the normality that we are all craving right now, New Horizons has taken the world by storm. If my Twitter feed is anything to go by, it's all the world is playing right now. Planting trees and breeding flowers, trying to catch all the bugs and fish before the seasons change, working out how turnips work, and finally getting KK Slider to play in our plazas. There's a lot to do, and plenty of time to do it in. Adorable, peaceful, and completely absorbing. There's nothing not to like about New Horizons. It's all go in Animal Crossing New Horizons right now, with a slew of events and even more to come, but that doesn't mean that your ultimate goal has changed at all, making your island the very best it can be. It's easy to lose your entire life to collecting bugs, fishing, digging up fossils, fraternizing with adorable critters, and generally living your best island life. So, there you have it, the top 10 best game of 2020 so far. Comment below which game is your favorite and if you already played one of them. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, and subscribe, then turn on post notifications. Check out my previous video on the top 10 most expensive food in the world and make sure to subscribe for more top 10s. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.